Hello and welcome to today's Wild Hearthstone deck tech and gameplay video on what is at its core is not an update, a transfer of a standard list that I saw and thought would be really fun and wild. Pardon the sneeze. But yeah, this is a transfer of a list that I saw in standard and the deck looked like a lot of fun. It was basically like one part Zerg cards and one part like location cards. And beyond that, just some general, more control-y aspects to be like the third part. And while you wouldn't think that, well, with some of the like degenerate like infestor Deathknight things that Zerg can do, you wouldn't think that a much more fair, more like traditional, really controlled deck that this deck is would really see a whole lot of play or a whole lot of use or even, a whole lot of wins. But honestly, I've had a whole lot of fun with this list. We just, we play various locations and try and get as much value out of them as possible. Both more defensive ones like Ultralisk Caverns, defensive cards like Ultralisk Caverns and Forge of Wills, and locations more generally, as well as having some good control tools, anything from like Gul'dan's Gifts to Drain Souls, and some glue cards, as I tend to call them. Cards like Nidus Worm or Hive Queen, or even to a degree, where's Kerrigan? Kerrigan being not only a control tool, but also can be a card draw engine with the Hive Queens that she also summons, and can also, help put a clock on the game once you sort of turn the corner control-wise with a big scary hero power like Ravage. But yeah, we're basically a control deck at our core that plays Zerg cards, location cards, and some just generally good cards in between. Not a whole lot to say about the list. If you like the list, go ahead and like the video. If you like my content, go ahead and hit the subscribe button if you want to see my grab bag of content again in the future. And if you have any sort of questions like, I don't have X, what about Y, or other generally nice and or constructive comments, I'll do what I can to respond to what I see. With all that out of the way, we'll go now into game number 1 and really show what the deck can do. And game number 1 with our little location Zerg lock. And honestly, this is perfectly fine. The Forge of Wills might not be the most impactful, but hopefully we'll draw some things we actually want to copy with the Forge of Wills. Go ahead and get a spawning pool of rolling. Honestly, not a whole lot of Demon Hunters are like... Or I don't see a whole lot of Demon Hunters, I should say. I don't see, Zerg ones on top of that. Go ahead and Gul'dan's Gift for Mortal Coil. Gul'dan's Gift, one of those just really helpful, generally is always useful to have sort of glue cards that I love to wax on about so much. Next turn, if they do nothing else of any real note, we can always just play an Ultralisk Cavern. Hydra? Oh, okay. One of those generically good cards kind of thing. But no harm, no foul, I suppose. Plan does remain the same. Play the Ultralisk Cavern. We will go ahead and save the spawning pool when we might be able to make more use out of the Zerg minions having rush part of the pool. Can also play a Forge of Wills to eventually get an additional copy of, say, the Ultralisk that becomes summoned. Okay, so you're Zerg and Starship. That is a choice. Yeah, play the Forge of Wills. Feel pretty okay. I know there are I mean, well, no, duh, there are Starship cards for Demon Hunter. See the card they played. But I don't remember, like, much of the Starship cards for Demon Hunter, like, seeing a whole lot of play. I know there's that one that's, like, I want to say it's like a 3-mana 1/5. Whenever this attacks, or whenever another minion attacks, it gets, like, +1 attack or something like that. Okay, I no longer know what their deck is. I wouldn't be surprised if it's like some Reno, what's the word? Demon Hunter. There we go. Got there in the end. I wouldn't be surprised if it's some sort of Reno Demon Hunter. It's got not only the generic Reno cards, but it also has that one like damages cards in your opponent's hand payoff thing that I've literally never seen played. Actually, we can be pretty slick with this, all things considered. We can Ultralisk Cavern for 1. Use a Consume to get some much-needed life, as well as the Ultralisk. Forge of Wills to get another Ultralisk, basically. Then we could do a Spawning Pool. Getting rid of the low health stuff with the little people, the little Zerglings on our board. Play another Zergling, which would be enough to get rid of the crewmate dude. And now on turn, well, functionally on turn 6, we have, 2 8/8s, which is pretty big and scary, and not too uncommon from, like, older school, like, pure control locks. You okay, honey? Are we gonna get if we get sick? Can we like move off of like my stuff? Okay, Nexus. Okay, I no longer know what our opponent is. They're just a pile of cards, which is valid. That's cool. That's cool. Ooh. Fundamental top dies. I mean, it's the only one that's like kind of good. Mind Control Tech is another one of those like good controlling cards that just every once in a while will come up and let you steal something big and scary. In the meantime, we don't really need to control the board that much. They're very much on the back foot. So we can just, smash our opponent's face with the aforementioned Ultralisk. Now, do you want to get under the blankie, banana? Come on. There we go. Thank you. Leo has to scratch a chair. Can we not just, like, hang out? Oh, thank you. I've also never seen these. Okay, that's cute. Unironically. I did not think about the spell burst plus 3/3 thing on a Zergling, like summoning 2 copies of it. That's actually like really interesting. But I don't know if it's good, but it's really interesting. Do I have lethal? Hang on, let's think about this. Okay. I think I do, right? We do Kerrigan. Yes, cat. Go ahead and scratch that thing up. That's fine. So then we do a 3. There we go. Got there in the end. I knew for certain that I had lethal. I just needed to like do the math and like also record, which is harder than you would think. But honestly, a pretty good showing for our little location lock deck. Honestly, yeah, like it's a good control deck, and we controlled what our opponent was doing. Granted, what they were doing was not the most like clear, focused thing. Again, I would assume that they were some sort of Reno deck, but we'll never know. But anywho, with all that out of the way, we'll go on now to game number 2. And game number 2 with our little that's a good combo. With our little location lock list. It's honestly a pretty good list. We have both Dark Alley Pact if we need it. Or, well, let me rephrase that. We have a Ultralisk Cavern if we need it, but we also have a Dark Alley Pact and a Forge of Wills, so we can always rush towards some big, scary sorry, some big scary taunt minion that we can also copy with the Forge. Pretty happy. I have to be honest, I don't think I've seen what would this be? An odd hunter in a hot minute. Yeah, in months, and not at all during the testing with this list. Gul'dan's Gift kind of helps. So we'll go ahead and, again, do a Mortal Coil while we have a free target. Getting us closer towards the Dark Alley Pact. We're getting low. Elven Archer. Mike, okay. Well, in that case, I think we'll just use the Ultralisk Cavern while it's, quote, free, unquote. What's the Clockwork dude? I think it's like a 5 mana 4/4 that like doubles your hero power. Oh wow, they are aggressive. Well done. I don't know if it's gonna like work out for them, but I unironically like their list. We died a lot. Okay, I think we just have to like try to control and not die here. So we weirdly have to play a Hellfire. I guess go ahead and Nidus Worm. Okay, the Dark Alley Pact is not going to be... Oh, that helps a lot. The Dark Alley Pact Forge of Wills thing is cute, but we need to worry about not dying. So we're just going to consume this immediately. Any amount of life gain right now is fantastic. And it's not like we have to necessarily give up on Dark Alley Pact as a whole. We're just not going to get like the most value out of this card. Our opponent just clearly isn't going to let us get away with that. Honestly, Spine... Yeah, I think we just play... Ooh, that's pretty good too. Okay, that changes things. We'll play a Forge of Wills, and then we'll do a Drain Soul. I'm going to keep this last Ultralisk Cavern charge in case we need to, like, cash it in to get rid of one of their creatures. Okay. Are we dead? Emerald Reaver, that's fine. So I think we do the Pact. Then we do... yeah, Cavern. We will use the lower durability Cavern and then Forge of Wills on that to get a couple of 8/8s. I'm actually going to use the other Ultralisk Cavern to apply some pressure. We might have turned a corner. Weirdly, a 5/5 taunt might be like the key we needed to not die. Which is sort of speaks to the strength of the Dark Alley Pact thing, is that it doesn't always have to be some giant monster like, 8/8, 9/9 or whatever. It can just be like a 5/5 with taunt sometimes and be fine. I'm not gonna hurt myself any more than I have to. What are the odds the one card in their hand is... You know what? Yeah, we'll play Mutanus. We don't kill our opponent no matter what we do. Maybe we get a big hit. It's a spell in their hand, which is actually okay. We prefer that information. I'm an idiot. I had lethal. Oh my god, I'm BMing. I realized I had Hellfire. I just totally forgot. If I die, I deserve to die. Yeah, that's so fucking dumb. Oh my god. Okay, well clearly if my brain would have turned on, I would have seen lethal and just fucking killed him. But I'm an idiot and I didn't see lethal, so fucking blah. But I noticed it. I noticed it immediately. So if you leave a comment, it's like, Miss Lethal, blah. I know. I know. I goofed, and that's fine. Also, it's deck still... I mean, while yes, I lost this game, functionally, the deck won. If I was just, not recording and was able to focus entirely on the game, I probably would have seen that lethal. But anywho, that is the list. It's a good little control list and a meta that is not in the worst place for it, at least all the way up to Diamond 5 or whatever. Anything higher than that, who knows. But I don't really get any higher than that rank, higher than this rank, so I don't kind of care what happens at higher ranks. It's a good list. If you were looking for a good solid Zerg list that's a little less all-in than like the Deathknight ones you'll see floating around, this is a pretty good place to go to get some mileage out of those Zerg cards. But anywho, thank you all so much for watching. Don't forget to like the video if you like it. Subscribe if you like my grab bag of subscribe if you like my grab bag of content. There we go. And would like to see more in the future. And if you have any sort of questions like I don't have X, what about Y, or other generally nice and or constructive comments, not hey dummy, you missed lethal like we talked about. If you have those nice comments, go ahead and leave them down below, and I'll do what I can to respond to what I see. Anywho, with that out of the way, I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.